All right, this is David Brox here with head coach of the Wyandotte Bulldogs, Jeff Kreiling. How you doing, Coach?
Good, good. How are you doing today?
Good. Kind of just give us a rundown of what you've seen so far early season and in the early games that you guys have played so far.
Okay, well, yeah, early season. We've been tested early. Been facing a lot of really good opponents in Lee Summit. With Blake Spellman and going to Shawnee Mission Northwest the very next night. And then Kansas City East Christian. A tall, long team. As far as the team this year, got a lot of new faces, a lot of new names that people are going to be just now seeing over the course of this year. I got Felton Henderson with me, senior, kind of forward with me today. And then also new to the program this year, senior guard Michael Graham, who transferred over. Both of them have been starters for us this year. Both of them played really well throughout the week. Michael had 19 against Shawnee Mission Northwest and 18 yesterday against Sumner. Felton Henderson had his first varsity double-double yesterday against Sumner with 12 points and 10 rebounds, and really, and actually also had the game-winning shot, game-winning putback against them. So, real good things early. We're just piecing it together right now. With so many young guys also. Got I think 5 sophomores playing varsity this year, along with a couple other juniors. So some of those sophomores are making the transition from freshman basketball to varsity basketball. So huge transition for those guys, but they're doing a great job of it. So just continually piecing it together, and we're just getting better day by day.
So everybody talked about the number of seniors you guys played last year and then all the inexperience you'll have back obviously this year. How much style-wise do you change how much you would do what you did last year compared to what you want to do this year?
Mm-hmm. Definitely a little bit different. New players, obviously, so it has to be a little different. We had Deontay Nunley last year, who was a 6'1", 205-pound guard, which in our league is huge. And so we were able to do certain things with him that, if I put Dante Wilson, for say, who's a sophomore at 5'8", 135, we can't do the exact same things with him. So we are playing a lot different style this year, which it's new for the kids, but they're starting to buy in. It's creating a lot of havoc and a lot of pressure out there for other guards on the other teams, creating a lot of turnovers. So it is a different style that people are going to see this year. Definitely not the same at all, really, offense or defense.
So, Phil, let's talk about the Sumner game a little bit. You guys came out, they smacked you guys in the mouth pretty good, down 23-1. But talk about your perseverance from a player perspective and being able to get back in that game and eventually win.
For us and my team, we mostly would just really don't give up. Just don't be down. Like once they make a bucket, just don't be mad and everything. Just be like, all right, let's get back. Let's get into this game. And then so me and Mike and my other teammates, we huddle up in the locker room after halftime, and then we came out. We just worked hard, did our defense right, and then we just came out with a victory.
So, Michael, where'd you transfer from?
Bishop Ward.
Bishop Ward. So talk a little bit about your game. If nobody's seen you play before, how would you describe your play and how you play?
Pretty kind of good all-around player. Decent guard skills, ball handling and shooting, things like that. One of my biggest problems would be aggression and confidence, though, seeing as I haven't played a whole lot of organized basketball. And my last full season was in middle school, so it's a whole lot for me to work on, but I'm definitely open to the process and willing to do whatever it takes.
So talk about some of the things that you've taken away from the first week of being on a new team and getting yourself ingrained into what you guys are going to do this season.
Defense. We got to work on defense, and we're small too. So me, Felton, and myself, we have to work really hard to rebound because I only weigh about 160 pounds, and Dubs, he's not as big either. So we have to work really hard to get rebounds, and we have to speed teams up because a lot of the teams we played aren't as fast as we are. So speeding them up will make them uncomfortable, and that's just kind of in our comfort zone. So if we just play like that, and we'll be okay.
So Coach, talk about the depth you got so far. You guys were able to wear Sumner down a little bit. But talk about how you set up your rotations early in the season to try and figure out, do you plan to stay that deep and be playing that many players, or do you think you'll pare things down as you get to know the players?
Yeah, I mean, no, we'll probably stay that deep, if not go deeper. I think we went 11 out of 13 against Sumner. I think it was either 10 out of 13 or 11 out of 13 deep against Sumner. And once we get Jalen Bradley back, I mean, we'll probably end up going 13 deep, possibly even 14 deep on some nights. Like you saw yesterday, we ran the full court press literally for 32 minutes all game long. And so, doing that, we're going to have to go deep. The guards come in. We got a couple real good sophomore guards in Dante Wilson, Joseph Moye, a couple of those guys who are coming off the bench and just creating havoc and pressure on guards, just kind of making it relentless. They're just pestering guards. And then you guys got, Jarrell Lucas, junior guard out front, Leandre Hale, another junior. He's a good shooter for us this year and everything like that. So we have the speed. We also have quite a few shooters who, as you saw yesterday, aren't afraid to put them up in a hurry. So, if shots are falling and if we're creating havoc, we'll be in any game this year.
How important was that win, though? If you guys start out 0-4 on the season and you go into, maybe the message gets lost a little bit, but having that success, how did the players react to that, and you as a coach react to getting that comeback win?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was huge. Being down 25-1 in the first quarter. The guys can either do one or two things. They can either trust the coaches and trust the process, which they did, or they can start shutting down on each other, quitting on each other. And if they're going to do it now, they're definitely going to do it later on in the season. So I was very proud to see them, just stay in it, keep fighting. Turn the game into kind of our ugly style of basketball this year, and then come away with that victory. That victory was huge because first 3 games we were really tested with some of those teams, and so when you're tested early, it can be easy for young guys to get down on themselves and say, "Am I really good enough to play this level?" and whatnot. So to really see them compete a couple nights in a row and then come away with that victory, it is big to show that hey, we can compete. We can win, we can do those different things. We just got to come out with more pressure, more intensity, and more focus in the first quarter.
So, Felton, from a player perspective, did that give you guys a little bit of confidence, maybe you be able to compete in league this year?
Yes, sir.
So, you guys aren't at full strength. They weren't at full strength either. I mean, you kind of go back and forth with that, but a win is a win. Mm-hmm. But what are your goals for this year from a league perspective? And you think you guys are going to compete again and maybe try and go back-to-back with the share you got last year?
Yeah, obviously that's the goal every year. Your goal every year is to win KCAL. I'd like to win it outright, not just the share this year. Getting the share, obviously, last year was huge. Just the improvements that were made last year and for what those guys were able to accomplish, it was big to get that share of it because it had been a while since Wyandotte had been in, that kind of front seat of it. But, this year I think, as the guys learn the system a little bit more, learn the offense, learn the defensive system a little bit more, and as we're able to add more pieces into that defense, and then we will be adding some length in Jalen, which is about 6'4", 6'5", and able to run the court extremely well. So, I think we'll be able to compete this year. We look to compete in every game. We got Harmon coming up this Friday. I know it's our first official KCAL game. We look to see what we can do, see if we can speed teams up. And, rebounding is going to be one of our big things. All 5 guys have got to be crashing the glass.
So, Felton, talk a little bit about, team goals from a player perspective of what your goals are for the year.
For the team goals, it's mostly just work hard every day, help each other out and everything. And then every game, we might as well make sure our team is at hand, being on more focus and everything. And then once we go out there with if it's a team that's 6'5" and up, or just at least 5'10", or it don't matter. We out here just trying to win everything and trying to get out there with a victory.
Michael, talk about some of the other players on the team that you think are going to step up and help contribute to getting some wins for you guys this year.
Like Coach K said, we got a lot of good sophomores. Joseph Moye was a pretty good scorer at the freshman level, so he can definitely put the ball in the bucket, and he's a good defender too. His defense is really underrated. Dante Wilson, a great point guard, ball handling, and he controlled the offensive tempo really well against Sumner the other night when Jarrell Lucas wasn't in the game. Leandre Hill, we couldn't get any buckets for a decent amount of time, and he was able to get to the rack and bring us closer to the game.
So you doing anything differently this year compared to last in terms of just style wise? In terms, what have you learned? What did you learn last year that you're trying to maybe do a little bit differently this year?
Mm-hmm. I'll get to that. Just one other player I just want to give a shout out to was also Trayvon Boyd. Who's he's been playing excellent. I mean, he's been that back line, he's been that workhorse for us. Getting 8 blocks against Kansas City East Christian, and then the very next night against Sumner, getting 10 steals. So he's just kind of taking on that role. He'd do whatever we need him to do. So I mean, I just want to also give him a shout out in there, the senior as well. But as far as this year, kind of things that we're doing new, you were saying?
Well, I'm just thinking you personally, your second year as a coach. I mean, what are maybe some lessons learned from last year that maybe you make some adjustments going into this one?
I think a lot of the adjustments are based off of our personnel. I think a lot of what we were running last year, a lot of what we were doing on defense, it obviously was working with that group of guys, with the outcome of 15-5 regular season and whatnot. But this group is different. With completely new faces, we're having to switch up. We need to play even faster this year. Last year we played fast. We were averaging quite a few points and everything like that, and we were playing with a high speed, high tempo last year. But this year is even a little bit faster. We're really creating even more pressure, even more turnovers this year than what we were last year. I think we have a little bit more of a true point guard role this year. Last year we had Deontay Nunnally, Kendall Dale, Todd Kennedy, Theo Bass, all those guys out front, and pretty much any of them were bringing the ball down every time. Really, I mean, we didn't necessarily have that true point guard last year, whereas this year we do have a little bit more of a true point guard. We got Jarrell Lucas, who against Northwest put up 11 assists, and then 7 assists against Kansas City East Christian, and then 6 yesterday against Sumner. So I think that's another big difference we have this year, a little bit more of a true point.
All right, very cool, Coach. We appreciate you guys coming out, and good luck this week and the rest of the season.
Hey, thank you very much for having us today. We appreciate it.
No problem.